G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome back to Grim Dawn, the indie action RPG from developers Crate Entertainment. Some of the developers from Titan Quest, and this game is the spiritual successor to Titan Quest. If you haven't seen it before, I do have some other videos on my channel, and I'll chuck those down in the description below for you guys to check out if you haven't seen it before. But I do go back and regularly try this game out whenever there's new major patches, and today I went and streamed it again. Because there's been two major patches since I last played, and I'll actually probably be playing for a few days. I'm currently on a playthrough on a soldier witchblade class that I put together here, using the new two-handers that were added in a recent patch. So using cool new two-hander weapons, and it's been a lot of fun. So I'm doing another whole playthrough, so you can catch me on Twitch if you want to catch up with that. But in this video I wanted to go over the new crafting system that's been added in, because this has been a big feature that's been coming for a while, something I've been pretty hyped about. Because Grim Dawn already had a pretty decent component crafting system, essentially. You get these different components just here. You can see I've got like almost a whole inventory bag full of them. And these drop off specific enemies, like different types of enemies just drop different things. So for example, ghosts drop ectoplasm, and then beast type enemies are likely to drop things like chipped claws or dense fur and stuff like that. So you can get amounts of these, and you can see this is a partial component. So if I get another chipped claw, I can combine this until it's 3 out of 3. It becomes a stronger version of that. So for example, I've got this cracked lodestone here. This is 3 out of 3. For completing the lodestone, I got extra lightning damage, and then I even got a skill on this one as well. So this one grants lightning strike. So this whole system is pretty interesting. Like you can see, I've got a bunch of things socketed in my gear. Anything with a plus here has something, a component socketed into it. So I have rigid shells socketed into this one for extra armor, lightning resistant physique, and I even have a hollowed fang in this sword just here, which gives me life leech, extra physique, and then even a blood drinker skill that gives me more life leech. So this whole system is pretty interesting. And then I learned that they were going to be adding a new crafting, actual gear crafting system into the game on top of that, so making it even more in depth. And it's pretty cool. I've had a bit of a play around with it already. The first thing to know about this that's really cool is there's a choice involved as to which actual crafter you get. There's currently 2 crafters, and there's a side quest. I won't do too many spoilers, but basically a decision is made, and you either get one crafter or the other. One's more aligned towards magic type gear, and will give bonuses to the gear he crafts based on you know, being more aligned towards magic crafting gear, and the one I chose is more aligned towards like fighter gear, you know. So I've got this one now that when I craft gear with this crafter just here, this particular dude, Angram, he will give me better crafting gear for, you know, my sort of build. So there's a bit of a choice there right at the beginning with the quest, and there's a number of quests in this game that are choice related, which is really cool. But the crafting system, I'll go through and sort of show you guys how it works. The first major thing you can see here is Relics, and this is a new item type that's recently added into the game as well. And I've crafted this one here, Calamity. There's currently 3 relics. You may be able to find plans for additional ones, because I have found a plan recently for, I think it was a pair of gloves, I think Adept's Greaves? No, it was a pair of boots. So I found this plan just here for Adept's Greaves. I think it's possible maybe to find plans for relics, or that more will be added in the future. But anyway, I did craft this one here, just Calamity, which you can see I'm wearing just here. And it's a pretty powerful extra item. Gives extra phys damage, chance for extra physical damage on top of that, so kind of a proc. It has extra fire damage, offensive ability, and even grants a skill, Calamity, which has a 5% chance on attack to give a burst of searing brimstones, which seems to actually proc quite often, and is kind of like a cool molten burst in a Nova. So I crafted this one just here, and what actually goes into this is completed components. So giving a second thing that you can do with these completed components means that now if I have a completed Searing Ember, I can put this in here. I can put my completed Polished Emerald in there, and I also need a completed Chipped Core, which I don't have any left from that. Now this extra material just here for the relics is a rare one that drops, I think, only from bosses. The only way I've found one so far was from the Act 1 final boss, so I think to get these, to be able to craft these relics, you need to farm those endgame bosses, you know, those final act bosses. So that's pretty cool, and I was able to craft the relic, and you can see there that it's got some guaranteed stats. And then completion bonus is random stats as well. So I got, what extra random stat did I got? Let's see if we can figure out which one that was. We got So this is 2 to 9 fizz. Mine was actually 4 to 13, so there's some sort of level scaling going on there as well, and I even got additional offensive ability on top of that. My completion bonus was 2% physique, so I got the random stat 2% physique. So this is the first thing, you can craft these sort of unique relics just here. Now on top of that you can craft just plain old magic or yellow weapons. Yellow in this is the magic tier. So this just takes scrap metal. So there's now additional uses for these original quest items. Scrap metal, you can simply put scrap metaling, spend some iron bits, and craft a random weapon. So if I, there's nothing in the vendors, but I want to try and have a bit of a gamble, essentially, it's kind of a gambling system, then you can gamble on crafting these guys. 1,600, if it rolls well, is pretty cheap. If it rolls poorly, though, you've wasted a bit of money. So there's that bit of gamble there, which is pretty cool. Now, you can also craft some better rarity ones there. So this one takes the scrap metal and a completed component, so chipped claws. So if I want to craft a green one, which has, this one has high, so we can look at, there's the two-handed axe just there, which has, why is it only listed as 1 physical damage? I don't think that's right. I don't know why that's listed like that. But the Brutal Great Axe is like a stronger version, and you can see it has some guaranteed stats. It has 5% chance of extra fizz damage, bleeding damage, cunning, and then some additional random stats. I actually crafted one of these a little while back, but the random stats rolled terribly, so I wasn't able to use it, and I had to wait until I found something better. But quite a few different ones like that, and you can find more plans for more weapons to craft. Same thing with ranged weapons, and then again the same thing with gear. So for example, everything I started off here with, pretty much everything here is what the vendor started off with, what the crafter started off with, except for the Adept Greeds. I actually found this plan off an enemy, a rare enemy that I killed, and you can see these are a bit more powerful. These ones actually have a skill. So in addition to having guaranteed elemental damage, energy, move speed, slow resistance, and then some random stats on top of that, this one has a guaranteed skill. So it's kind of a unique item in its own sense that it gives a unique skill that boots don't normally give. So Cold Snap, 100% chance when hit by a critical hit, to give like a 6 meter radius cold damage that slows enemies, Nova sort of thing. So pretty cool. So collecting these is like its own little metagame now and adds an extra thrill to the item hunt. And on top of that, you can craft a bunch of jewelry and stuff like that. You can also craft components up to higher tiers now. So I can take cracked lodestone. So we have a cracked lodestone just there. There's nothing I really want to use cracked lodestones on. So what I can do is I can put the cracked lodestone, the completed component, in there, and then I can take some of the aether crystals, which drop from various things throughout the game, mostly the aether crystal bundles that you can kill. And then I can spend some iron bits and actually craft this into aether steel bolts, which is essentially a higher level component. So lodestone, only moderately helpful at the start of the game, but not particularly helpful for me now. I can craft up into 1 out of the 4 aether steel bolts, so you can essentially combine them up, which is pretty nice. So there we go. We've got one of my aether steel bolts there that can be used in guns and crossbows. Not actually useful for me, but for purposes of demonstration, it was nice to do. So, in addition to that, you can also craft these consumables too, which are these temporary buffs. This one gives fire resist for 180 seconds and 15% fire resist and increases fire resist by 25. It seems to have a double stacking thing there. But same deal, you use the completed components to craft these as well. There's some like Royal Jelly Balm that are a potion plus a component as well. So some of them are pretty interesting, and you can see it also uses the Royal Jelly, which is a drop from a specific enemy and is also related to a quest on top of that. So you can see a pretty good variety there. You can then also craft the aether crystals up into aether shards, which I'm guessing are used in higher level crafting components, but I haven't seen that yet. But based on the way these are used, I assume they're used the same way. And then the final thing is the accessories here, the Ranger's Badge and Ribbon, which these are kind of, I guess, examples of the rarer accessory plans that you could find. So I'm guessing you can find plans that are the same sort of this, but I crafted the Ranger's Ribbon just here, which was pretty powerful. I had to use some aether crystals and then bristly fur, which took me a while to find enough of that to be able to craft one of these dudes. And this has some base stats, so extra damage, health, attack speed, pretty nice stats for a ribbon, and then a bunch of random stats on top of that. And mine rolled pretty well with pierce resistance, poison and acid resistance, increased armor as well. So pretty good. On top of that, there's the Ranger's Badge just there, which is an alternative one, different component again, kind of a rarer component. This one has a skill on it too, so some of these can spawn with skills. So I've got the Survival Instincts, 33% chance when hit by a critical hit to give a boost of adrenaline, temporary increasing your run speed, so you can GTFO. So, like, just the beginnings of it. This is the very start of the crafting system, basically. As I said, I've only found one recipe so far. Is very interesting. I'm very excited to get more into it, and it's added a lot to the game, I feel, and also kind of changed like the in-game personal economy, I guess. You have this economy of Iron bits being even more important now because they're used in crafting. So if you want to craft those sort of pretty powerful items, like Calamity took me 8,000 bits, which was quite an outlay when I wanted to craft it. So you need to think about more carefully how you use those iron bits. But also you have to think about with your components. Do I combine these then use them in my gear for a while? Or do I save them because I need to use them in a recipe? So you keep an eye out for ones you need to save. Maybe you even go and hunt them down. I had to go hunt down some of the bristly fur to craft my ranger's ribbon, for example. And then there's another choice. You could instead say, all right, I'm going to get some resilient plating, I'm going to get as much of it as I can, and then combine it up to a higher tier component that I can use on my gear for a while, or use in a higher tier crafting recipe. Lots of different decisions to be made, and I think it's a really nice addition to the game. So, if you guys do want to check out Grim Dawn, I'll put a link down in the description below for my videos, as I said, but also a link to the website if you want to check it out. It is currently in beta, and there's no like guaranteed schedule for patches, but they do seem to be coming out at a reasonable pace, and the patches have been very high quality each time they've come out. I'll probably give you guys some more looks at some of the changes, including a roguelike dungeon mode that's been added, probably when I get up to it tomorrow. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.